Jack! I guess you're booking this. You had questions for me.
Jack O'Hara. Boy, you asked me some interesting questions, my man.
Jack, hey, it's Josh Radder.
Hey there, Jack O'Hara. It's Johnny Damon.
Jack O'Hara, absolutely.
What's up, Jack?
Well, Jack.
You know, those are some good questions, Jack.
Hey, Jack. How you doing,
Hello,
man?
Bob Saget. How's it going, man?
Jackie, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Jack? Listen, man, you know, you asked me a couple questions.
Jack, right?
That's right, man.
Hey, Jack.
Jack O'Hara.
Anybody call you John?
It is another edition of the O Show podcast, live from Las Vegas.
Walk with me, buddy.
How is the atmosphere in Austin these days? Because now, the city's blowing up, and I've heard from a few of my buddies that live out there that's like the city's not ready for what's happening there right now. Is it congested? Is it a lot? How is it?
It's like packed with Californians. But
Yeah.
So I live outside of Austin in a very calm neighborhood. And I saw this guy, I don't even know the name of this in English. It was like a skateboard, but it was electrical and it was just one wheel. Yeah, so it was an electrical skateboard, but with just one big wheel, and he was on top of it.
Like, was it in the middle of the skateboard?
Yep.
What?
It was very. Look, do you want me to make you a drawing?
Do you draw? Are you a good artist?
No, I'm awful. I'm like a 5-year-old. Listen, but I'm gonna do it for you, okay? My English is really bad today because I was just talking for an hour with my parents on the phone in Portugal.
Ooh.
So my brain takes a little bit to look. It was something just like this, and he had his feet here, and it was just like one big wheel like this. So
Oh my God.
to get to my point, this is like a super calm area. And this guy was in this electrical skateboard, let's call it skateboard, big ass wheel, I don't know, while having a meeting on his phone. And he was like discussing business. And I'm like, this is becoming LA now. That's exactly what you see in LA. But I mean, I can complain because I'm an immigrant, so I can say nothing.
Oh my God, that's crazy though. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Jersey, right outside of Hoboken and Manhattan. So I got to see it, kind of the gist of the way people do business out there. Very professional, very, very blue collar in the sense of just, it's like, hey, it's us versus the world. Like, you think you're better than me, like type mentality. And then you go to LA, it's completely different, a lot more laid back, a lot different. I guess I'll just use the word there. But Austin, I've never been to before. So I've always been intrigued to see what the atmosphere out there is like, especially now that it is just being rated by Californians.
I mean, Austin is nice. I feel like Austin is a big city. It's a small city in a big city. That's what I feel like. I love New York. I mean, you know this better than I do because everyone is like in a rush there, and it doesn't give me the chance to be lazy because I want to be better at everything because I'm always like, okay, there's no time to waste. And here it's hot and I get really laid back, and then I eat barbecue, then I feel fat, then I feel like I have to work out, then I go work out and I spend like 3 hours at the gym, and then I didn't do any work, you know?
Yeah. You're big you're a big foodie though, right? You do a lot of cooking from what I've seen.
You are stalking me, Josh.
I'm not stalking. I'm just doing my research. That's what interviewers do.
Yeah, I heard that. I guess that's the way to put it.
Yeah.
So where are you? Are you in Arizona?
I am. I'm in Phoenix.
Oh, that's cool.
Phoenix, AZ.
Where? Say that again.
Phoenix AZ. You've performed at House of Comedy, right? Rick Bronson's place?
Yeah, last year I was there. I'm going to shoot a movie there in October.
No way. So you're doing a lot of acting now?
Yes. I love it.
Any like feature films or short stuff? Like what's it going to be about? Does it have to do with the comedic career, or is it something completely different?
I can't talk much yet, but I have a movie coming out in September, and it's a romantic comedy. And then I'm going to shoot this one in October, and it's a romantic comedy as well. So I'm really excited because I don't like having to be like, I don't like roles. I usually audition for roles where it's like very flirty and like kind of sexy roles, and that's not who I am in real life because I'm very and I feel like these roles are that because it gives me the chance to be silly and have fun. That's why I love romantic comedy so much.
I mean, I feel like that just fits your personality. Like, do you feel like you were like typecasted in a sense with some of those other roles that you had to do?
Yeah, of course. I always get typecasted. I always get casted for like Hispanic roles, even though I'm Portuguese. Yeah.
A lot of people, unfortunately, just put two and two together. Oh man, but that's great. I mean, I definitely let me know if you're doing any shows out here too. I've performed once or twice at House of Comedy too. I think it's a
wait.
crowd.
Comedy?
I do it when my comedian friends ask me to do it. So a friend of mine, Luis Alvarez, who you know, I think you've done shows with him. He's based out of Phoenix.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll do shows if some of my friends are doing like not specials, but shows where they invite all of their friends on to do them, and I'll do 7 to 10 minutes. I think it's very easy if you have like a comedic attitude to go up there and speak your mind in front of an audience that's looking to laugh. It's so much easier than doing it as opposed to open mic nights. Like open mic nights, that's the real challenge. I'm sure you've probably had some interesting stories starting out when you first got into it doing open mic.
Well, I feel like open mics are to teach you how to laugh, how to fail gracefully.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it is about. Because you're just trying to make the comics laugh. So now I'm very interested in this. So you have 7 to 10 minutes of comedy.
Absolutely. So I've done, I want to say at least a dozen open mics at this point, and I've done 2 actual clubs. I'm trying to get into it a little bit more. I'm not fantastic. Like I think I had 8 minutes total the last time I did it. And around the 5-minute mark, I completely ran out of material and I just started singing songs because I kind of have a rock music background too. So I just started singing and they were like, okay. And that was the end of my set. So I don't think they've invited me back since, but you know, I'm working on some stuff.
That's fun. How long have you been doing it for?
Literally, what's this? August? 8 months.
Okay, that's pretty good. And
8
if you already have 5 to 10 minutes, that's amazing.
You got to know the right people.
Yeah. Do they help you with jokes?
Oh, absolutely. I remember the first time I tried it, one of my buddies was just like, okay, we got to work on some things, but I see some potential in there for sure. You know, it's like you got to be yourself, you know, tell it the way that you would tell it, but at the same time, you got to resonate with your audience, which does not happen overnight.
No.
Do you remember the first open mic you did?
Yes. Well, do you know, the thing is that my first open mic was in America. I did comedy before. I started doing comedy when I was 21. I was living in Norway. And how I discovered comedy was I went to this talent show. And my friend was like, hey, if you go up there and you tell one of your funny stories, I'll buy you drinks for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
And I said, whatever. I'm broke as fuck, so I'm gonna do it. You know, I was in a very self-destructive. Can I curse?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the time.
Self-destructive zone, but so I went and I did it, and it was awful. Like I think the first 3-4 minutes was great, and then I bombed. It was just awful, and I'm like, I love it. And there was a comedian in a crowd, and he was like, oh, you know, same thing that you had, where he told me you have something special, but you need to know how to write. And I'm like, I didn't even know you write. I just thought you would come here and say things that, you know, bother you, and you kind of use the crowd. I didn't know anything about it. And then I became a flight attendant, and like if I went, for example, I was living in Abu Dhabi. If I went to Dallas, I would find out which comedy shows were there and like go and do open mics and all this stuff. But you know, being from Portugal, you wear like shorts all the time. Like I couldn't go and do comedy like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was distractive for the comedian, so they would like laugh and support. But it was not because I was funny. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then later on, I've realized the psychology of comedy and how to use it to my favor, and trying to hide a little bit more of my body when I do open mics. This sounds so bad. This sounds like I'm so full of myself. But what I mean is, like, it's just distracting. Because when I see the girls, it's distracting for me too. You know, I'm like, oh my God, what is she wearing? Her makeup is really cute. And I don't pay attention to what they're saying. It's just the way things are, you know?
Right. I was watching, it was like a 3-minute short, but it was, you were at an open mic, and I don't know if you produced this or not, but I was just doing some basic research before we came on about you about to go on an open mic, and there was just like a creepy guy just basically being like, hey, if you wear a little less, the guys will pay more attention to you, or something like that.
That is, so that was produced by a good friend of mine, and that is a sketch about how it is to be a female comedian in the open mics, which is, it's very accurate, that video. But I know, I think people, unfortunately, it's like being a famous comedian. Like, people are going to go watch your show because they like you and they want to hear you. So you get away with a little bit more. I mean, you will start. I've seen big comedians starting their set with just a lot of crowd work for like 10 to 15 minutes. That wouldn't work for everybody. But it's like, if I buy a ticket and I love somebody, I want to see them. I don't care even if they say really good jokes or not. I just want to see them, and I want to have and because I love them, I'm going to laugh at it. But when you're not known and people don't know who you are, they don't know what to expect, it's a bit harder because you have to prove yourself. Maybe I'm wrong.
There's a lot of people, and especially like the greats that you see with their specials, even the people like Adam Ray, who you're friends with, you know, like guys like that, instantly funny, but it took years upon years of practicing some of that material for it to actually hit in front of large crowds.
Do you know, Adam Ray is something out of this world because he's so witty. And I'm not saying this because he's my friend, but he's like so sharp. And if you hang out with him out of stage, he's so funny and so kind. He's such like a ball of good energy that you cannot help but love him, you know? But I think it just depends on a lot of people. Most of my best friends, before they met me, they're like, I thought you were a fucking bitch before I met you, because I don't laugh. I'm not a person that's like, hi. I'm like with a raspy bitch face. And then it comes to a point that they just laugh at everything I do, because they're like, you should have a camera following you because you're actually so funny. But I don't think it's funny that I'm clumsy, you know, but they think it's hilarious. So I think Adam is like, he already has a fan base, and he works a lot. So me, because I know him, I just look at him and I start laughing because I know he's such a funny person, you know? Have you watched the John Leguizamo specials?
Mm-hmm.
How good are they?
I think they're awesome. I legitimately think that, like, it's just, I in today's day and age, you see everybody making, like, quote unquote content of stuff, and like just making like short clips and reels and, you know, whatever they got to do in the comedic space as well. That stuff is just so different, though, in a great way.
Yeah.
And it works because it's natural. Like you said, like you're not necessarily someone that laughs in large crowds. And if that's not you, you don't do it. You don't just do it to like fit in or like do it just because everybody else is doing it. It won't come off real, you know, like just be yourself. And that's what they've been doing with those special. I mean, it's just, it's really, really, really funny because it's raw and authentic in a way.
Yeah. And I think what I really loved about his special was all of them are really good. And it teaches you a lot, and it's so genuine, and it's so like you are happy for him. I'm like, I want to see him good. And I don't think there's many specials that I finish and I'm like, oh my God, this was amazing, and I want to watch it again. And I think his specials were definitely, that's the thing I want to do next. I'm working on a new hour now, and I'm hoping I can start shooting this special in January, and I'm going to try to do like a one woman show as well. I think it's very powerful. I love it.
Oh, that's fun. How many hour-long shows have you done before?
Not many. I did like 45-minute stops.
That's
But
still
now,
really good. That's still really hard too.
it is. I think the first 15 minutes I wrote with that special I released last year took me 1 year to write, because as comedy is my second language, because I wasn't, a lot of people are like, whatever, you were born. I was not born in America. I was born in Portugal, and I moved to America 3 years ago. And for the longest, my English was very slang because I've learned it from TV and from like traveling. So I didn't realize how bad it was. Like if I wanted to say, oh, I'm so upset, I would be like, I'm so pissed. And I didn't realize I was a flight attendant in a 5-star airline, and I would be like, yeah, I'm pretty pissed about that too. They don't have any more coffee. And people will be like, okay, she's ghetto. What's happening? But yeah, so it took me a long time because I would have to translate things from Portuguese to English, and then they would make sense and all this stuff. But I feel like now it's been 3 years. I've been reading a lot of books. I always buy my books in English. I don't read in Portuguese anymore. When I write my notes, I force myself to write them in English as well. So it's definitely like becoming easier, you know?
Mm-hmm. And you liked growing up in Portugal, right? It was just like there was just something missing there. Like it was a great culture, great upbringing, but something just wasn't there for you.
I just, I wasn't raised. My parents are very hardworking people, so they didn't understood who I was as a person, because they were like working all the time. And I really wanted to be an artist, but I didn't know, like, I love drawing and I love dancing, but then I would be really embarrassed because if they catch me dancing, they would laugh at me. So I'd be like, get out of my room. But I tried very hard to go to acting school there, but we couldn't afford it. And then I was in theater for a little bit, but I'm like, I feel like I'm not supposed to be here. I just felt like something was off and I couldn't understand what it was. Like I had this huge feeling that I needed to travel and get out. And then now I'm here and it's great. And honestly, I'm so grateful for how things changed for me in just 3 years. Like I filmed a movie, I had a special out, I met all these amazing people, I became a regular in one of the best comedy clubs in New York City. Like I done Laugh Factory, which was my dream. So I cannot really complain. I'm just really like grateful and excited.
And when you started out, was it like, because I know at least in the industry, just meeting people, like everybody's very kind, everybody's very supportive, which you don't get that in other industries, whether it be in business. I've worked in sports as well. Just even the music industry is kind of rough. Like everybody's very supportive. Like if they see something, they'll be like, okay, like we can work on this together to get you to where you need to be as a great comic.
Well, I never had that happening to me. So I guess you were lucky. I never had nobody saying, this is good, I could help you.
Really?
Yeah, that never happened to me. I never had anybody being like, let me help you write jokes and actually do it.
Really? Not even like constructive criticism?
I opened for a few comics that are my friends. They did told me, hey, I don't like using other people's jokes because then I feel weird about it. But like I opened for a friend of mine who's like a Comedy Store legend. And he told me, you should do this joke. And I said, that's fine, but I don't, like, I want to do it in my voice. And he's like, yeah, but it's yours. Like, I'm not going to use this joke. Just have it. And I don't want to take it. Like, I have all these ideas that I want to work on. And I want, like, if they'd be like, hey, let me help you with this and make a punchline out of a joke that I'm having a hard time hitting, that's different. But I haven't had that happen, you know?
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Like I'm talking obviously more so about friends helping each other out as opposed to like big name people that are already in there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What does help Jack is sometimes like I have a very good friend of mine in New York, and his name is Chase Russo. He host my show for me sometimes.
Mhm.
And what happens is like sometimes we're talking and he laughs at things a lot, and then he goes, you should say that on stage. And then I didn't even thought about it before, so then I make a note to do so. But actually helping me write the joke, no.
Wow. Okay. I mean,
Your friends.
right. I see that. And then obviously, with the riff too, because that's something a little bit different. That probably, how long did that take to kind of not just manifest, but at the same time get, clubs and places and bars to be like, okay, like this is a really cool concept. Let's do this show.
So I actually started the show at Vulcan here in Austin because I wanted to do something like different. And I was a big fan of Comedy Without a Net, which is an improv show as well. So I did my own improv show, but with a different twist, as you know. And then I moved it to the Creek in the Cave once it opened. And I passed the audition to be at the stand in New York. And I just asked the owner, one of the bookers and one of the owners, like, hey, I do this show. Like, do you think it would be fun to do it here? And then he said, try. And that was it.
Wow.
But like, I don't love producing shows because it's a lot of work. You have to do a poster. You have to book everybody. You have to make sure everybody respects the time and the light. You have to make sure people follow the rules. You have to and then people ask for stuff. And then it's like being a mom. It's a lot, I don't know how, but I imagine.
You can only imagine. Yeah, I'm the same way. But yeah, I mean, a lot like the marketing, social media, you got to promote, banners, get everybody there, make sure everybody's there on time, make sure everybody's like staying in line. Like, how long do comics go up for? Like 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes at a time? Does it matter?
Everyone gets 10 minutes, lights at 9. But I don't know why I said that. That was such a comedy comment. Everyone gets 10 minutes. I had TJ Miller on my last show. It was like my dream to have him on the show. He did amazing, but he was in a rush to go to another show, so he only did maybe like 6 minutes.
Got it.
But I think because it's a very, very, very difficult show. It's literally every comedian's worst nightmare. So 10 minutes seem pretty fast. When you're up there, it feels like 45 minutes.
Jeez.
Especially have material.
Right. I mean, it's two worlds mashed into one. Like, there's a lot of improv people out there and a lot of stand-up comedians, and like you kind of brought it into one. And I feel like you have to have both in order to be a really good comedian. But like, even like you said, like if you're going up there completely unprepared, not knowing what the topic's going to be, and then it's something like kind of sensitive, like culture sensitive, and you're like, oh God, what am I going to say? And if it doesn't come off right, like, oh God. But what was like the either the best or the worst case scenario when it came to comics that you've had on your show, and it just either just didn't work out for them, or they just literally couldn't adapt to what the topic was?
So I have one thing with me is that I have very bad memory, especially when I'm stressed out. I forget everything.
Yeah.
I can say, I'm not going to talk about in a negative way. I can tell you some of the people who did best. Definitely TJ Miller for just 6 minutes. He did amazing. Who else? I don't remember. I have to think about it very well. I'm awful with names. It's so bad. What's her name? I forgot her name. It will come up to me. Emma Wilson. She did amazing. She did really, really good. And she's very likable as well. I had one person, I'm not going to say names. I had one person once storming off the stage.
Oof.
Yeah, so that even made everything worse. But the thing is that I feel like with this show, the good thing is I prepare the audience so they understand that comedians take a long time writing their jokes and perfecting them. And what they're going to see, it's all like improv. So it's going to be hard. And I ask them to be understanding. I think they get really excited to see what you're going to say and what you're going to do. So I think they're a little bit more forgiving.
Yeah. Was that one friend, like, did they storm off because they couldn't really work with anything, or did the crowd just not?
I think they were very nervous about it.
Got it.
And so a panic attack or something. That's what I think.
Got
The
it.
thing that you're gonna know, Jack, is that comedians are such strange creatures where like we want to make people laugh and make people happy, but they are so awkward. And I realize like I'm awkward too. I have like panic attacks, I have anxiety, like my eyes start switching, I start stuttering. Sometimes I forget words and I speak half English, half Portuguese. You know, it will happen to you too.
Yeah, I mean, there was one time I think I made eye contact with everyone in the crowd and completely forgot my entire set.
It's okay, it happens.
Yeah. And I'm like, why did that happen? Like, I was doing so well.
You have to address it when that happens.
Oh yeah, I did, and then my mind went blank. Just made it worse. But teach their own. It happens. You live and you learn. I mean,
Yeah.
I think those are those painful, stinging experiences in life are what make you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. Look, what's the worst that can happen? Did you die? No. And isn't it so good when you do things that like put you out of your comfort zone and then you just feel like alive? And it's okay to be scared, you know? I do things like this improv show, it's my biggest nightmare. Like I freaking hate it. I hate doing it. I hate producing it. But I do realize that it made me a better comedian, and I want that for the comics too. So
yeah, I mean, it makes you stick out. Like, no, like that's a very, very cool concept that you have going. You got like for anybody that doesn't know about the riff, you spin the wheel and whatever number it lands on, they pick the number out of, you know, the bucket or the glass, whatever you the bucket, and then they have to do comedy based on that topic that's in the bucket.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing it. You have to be like a seasoned vet to like really adapt and really read the crowd at the same time.
Yeah. It's a good time. I love it. It did make a difference in my comedy because now I'm not scared to have that you were mentioning, you know, when you're on stage and you see people looking at you and it just like disappears, everything goes blank. I'm not scared of that anymore. Like I had a girl last show that she was roasting every single comedian, just talking. And then she's like talking in my set. And I said, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "Yeah, I've been roasting all comics here tonight." And I said, "Oh, that's you?" And I told her, "Bitch, don't roast me. I'll beat your ass." And then everybody started laughing. But it's something I would never say in real life.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
But I don't fight. I only send love.
Not a fighter, a lover.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that. What else, you know, some other experiences that you may have had as opposed to just like those stingy feelings of just not doing well and not performing well and learning from them. What are some of like the other things that you do notice when you're up there speaking in front of a crowd? Like, okay, like that kind of work, that got a reaction I've never gotten before. How do I tweak this? Like, do you pick up on some of those things when you're on stage, or is it kind of more so like feedback you hear from other people once you're done?
I have very good awareness. I'm very good reading a room. And I think that's why in the beginning for me it was so hard, because I see like people are judging you and they want a reason to like you. Like it's easier to like, I love all types of people, but you okay?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Are you taking me to the bathroom or something?
No, I'm just changing the background real quick. It changed up on me. Keep going though. You're doing great.
It's easier to laugh at people who already look funny. So sometimes as women, you go on stage and you want to win people over, but that's a little bit harder. What was your question?
I was just saying that like it's very, very difficult, I think, in the moment, especially starting out, but once you actually, like you said, you don't feel those nerves anymore really, but like it's very hard to pick up on the way that the audience is feeding off your energy and the things that you're saying, because like I think it's very easy to tell like, okay, that definitely worked, that definitely didn't work. this
So
has potential. This
it-
might have potential.
So first of all, it's not difficult to tell because so you said, I always get nervous, no matter where I am. If it's a bar show, if it's a comedy club, I always get insanely nervous. And a trick that many comedians do is that their voice recorder. So then you can go back and listen to how you did the joke. If you improvise, if you riffed, you can listen to it. You can listen to the crowd's reaction. But comedy is subjective. So a lot of people are laugh like at this joke and think it's like the best joke ever, and then other people are not gonna it, and that's okay. Gotcha. I was gonna turn off this call. Somebody was calling me, and I ended up turning off your call instead because
I've done that before plenty of times.
That's why. I feel like if the best advice I can give you based on my personal experience is that if you're having fun, people are going to have fun. If you're enjoying yourself and you're laughing, they're like dogs. They can smell that. If you're scared, they're going to see that. People want to have a good time.
That kind of goes back to like, Adam or anybody else just like authentically just being themselves. Like you could just tell how comfortable they are in their own skin. And it just like, it sends good vibes other people's ways, as opposed to just like acting like someone else. Like, I think it's very easy for someone starting out to mimic someone else that they really enjoy watching. And then the more and more you go along, you learn certain things about yourself and you kind of mold your own style, your own personality into it. Yeah. Like I've seen so many people along the way, just like you could tell like, okay, like that's a Bill Burr fan right there. The way he's just ranting about things, like you're just trying to be someone else in a sense.
I know. Yep.
What was the worst open mic performance that you've ever seen?
Why are you forcing me to talk trash? I'm
not forcing you to talk trash. You probably don't even know the person's name. They're probably not even doing comedy anymore.
Yeah, but I don't talk bad about people, especially on the internet. You don't do that.
Yeah, you got a good heart.
I think a lot of people like to say, oh, this person's not funny, that person's not funny. I don't think it's fair to say that because, like I said before, comedy is subjective. But you can definitely tell, like, if somebody keeps going on stage and keeps bombing and keeps doing the same jokes and nothing changes. And, I mean, you can definitely see, like, right now, I don't laugh much when I watch other comedians because I'm trying to pay attention to how they wrote this joke.
Right.
But you can definitely tell, like, oh, she doesn't know how to write jokes, but she's funny, or she is not funny, so she doesn't have a good stage presence, and she doesn't know how to write jokes, and she keeps bombing, and she keeps coming back with the same material. Like, maybe she just likes, I didn't want to say that. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. So I don't know. Is this? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
No, absolutely. You're trying to say that people maybe really can adapt as well.
Yeah, I don't think what I'm trying to say is no one is allowed to say someone is a bad comedian unless they are not striving to be better, and they, in every single way, like stage presence, like response to crowd, like crowd work, writing, I think that's the only time you can say someone's not good. But I don't like talking bad about other people, especially on open mics. Open mics is to work things out, right?
Yeah, that is very true. Some things are very rough and awkward, and you just kind of have to like plow through it. Be like, okay, that was rough, but we live and we learn, and we kind of again look at other people in a sense and be like, okay, they have some stuff to work on, but we can help them because it is like kind of a big community in that sense. But I mean, you got a good heart because I feel like you've interacted with a ton of people in your life, and there's really no one that you'd want to like just, I don't know, not talk trash about, but I don't know, maybe punch in the face every once in a while. Like you've never had like the itch to like lash out on someone.
Absolutely, but you see, that's a waste of energy.
That's right.
I used to be like, being Portuguese, we shout and we are very aggressive, and I came to realize that would just leave me so drained. And then I wouldn't actually have energy to do the things that I need to do, like writing, and actually focus on myself. Plus, the best revenge is being successful. And I've had issues with people before that didn't treat me well. And then I saw them watching me having a killer set. And for me, that is the best thing ever that I could ever do to that person. You know what I mean? So
Shows that you aren't bothered, and at the same time, it just, yeah, basically shows like there's really like that wall, that barrier. Like you really, what you're saying does not matter to me at all right now.
no, never listen to haters. Always do yourself. Always love yourself, Jack.
I got a question for you in regards to wanting to punch someone in the face. Doing my homework here, I was scrolling through your Instagram feed. Were you at one point in any regard in professional wrestling?
Yes, I was. I used to wrestle.
Please elaborate on that. I'm actually a huge pro wrestling fan, and that is not an easy thing to do. Talk about crowd work. Like you have to be not only an athlete and put on a show, but like you have to connect with the audience.
Yeah. This was many years ago.
Yeah.
I was always in a rush to live. I don't know why, because I always felt older than what I am.
Right.
I was like, so when I started wrestling, I was 13, and I think I quit when I was like 17. And the reason why I quit was because I realized that I was never going to be who I wanted to be. It was just like out of date. Everything for me, you know, they were very like male toxicity or whatever. It was just like, it was not a place for me to be at that time. So, but I was in this association. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want you guys to Google it, but it was a wrestling group in Portugal. And yeah, I loved it. I love wrestling. I didn't realize that what I really loved, it was the physical part of it together with the acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a great time. I'm trying to not say a lot of things because I don't want people to Google.
So it's out there, is what you're saying.
I think so. I think there's some old stuff about it, but I met a lot of people. I met like Rob Van Dam and some other people who are in WWE now, Oshimas or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And for me, that was like a dream, and that really helped me with my English as well. Was wrestling, because we would go on tour with, you know, Americans all the time, and I was really young, and my parents, they wouldn't let me go, but then I would run away from the house and go and shit like that. It would just be crazy.
Pro wrestling and punk rock music is what taught me curse words growing up. I would watch that stuff like 5-6 years old, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Rob Van Dam. That was probably how I got introduced to marijuana, was Rob Van Dam. I'm like, man, that guy just seems so chill all the time. I wonder what he's doing.
It's the ponytail.
Yeah. Still rocking it today, too. A lot of those guys that had long hair, I'm one of them. I had long hair like down to here that I cut. And all those people cut off their ponytails. Rob Van Dam's still rocking it.
I haven't watched wrestling for the longest time. I think I remember somebody telling me that I was going to be the youngest WWE diva, and I believed in it too. I really loved it. But I think there were a lot of situations that were very unfair, and I felt very weird because I was really young and I was a woman. I was between like these guys, and it was just not very, for me, I didn't felt safe. Like I thought some people were my friends, and I realized they weren't. And I'm like, I don't know much about life, but I know as a woman, I shouldn't feel scared to be around these people. So that's why I quit.
So you picked up on that vibe pretty quickly then?
No, it took me a long time. I was very naive. It took me a while until I realized, like, I went on tour and I traveled, and I was like, yeah, I don't feel good being here by myself.
Jeez. And how much traveling was involved in that? Was it like city to city?
I don't remember. It was like, I remember we went to Spain. Like, I have selective memory. So like when things hurt me as a person, I kind of like block them out. So I just remember, I had a coach, and I thought he was like my best friend. And then he was just like, not, if you know what I mean with that. And I was just like, this is not, I don't want to be in the middle of people that are disrespectful to me. So that's one of the reasons why I left. But I think we went to Spain, and we did this big arena. I remember I fought with this girl, and she was way bigger than me because I was always tiny. and she grabbed my hair, and she was gonna push me against the ring, but she actually did it. Like, she was not supposed to grab my head and push it really hard, but she did it, and I didn't have time to protect myself, and I hit with my face on the ring floor and immediately swell up. So I was like that, and I'm like, now looking back, it's like, what type of fucking adult are you doing that to a 14?
Right.
Stupid. Like, I'm so glad I left. If I have a 13-year-old kid and she's like, let me go to wrestle, like, hell no, you're not going anywhere until you're 18 years old at least. Okay, I don't care.
Jeez.
I think maybe, Portugal is different than America because how can I say that? I don't know how to say it. I don't think maybe that would happen here, but like, people are a little bit more old school, so there's more room for mistakes, I guess.
Right, and I'm going to assume management probably wasn't on top of everything that was going on.
Management. There was no management.
Like, no boss that you had to answer to? Nothing? No,
there was like a coach, and then guys who there was a coach and then somebody who started it, but yeah, it was not very good. I will never people. So if you're watching me right now, you can go fuck yourself.
Would you ever, with the right offer, do a pro wrestling match again?
Fuck yeah. Are you kidding me? I get to put all these nice clothes, like glittery, sparkly, and do my hair and makeup and fight with another girl. I would love that.
And any specific dream matches that you'd want? What if you did like some sort of show in the comedic realm where you got a few of your comic friends to do it? Have like a tag team match or do something like that in Austin?
I don't want to mix comics with wrestling.
No?
I did the promo for Adam Ray movie, the one that he's playing Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon, yeah.
Did you see me jumping from the rope?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Jeez. I think if you found, like, I think Adam would do it. Trying to think who else. You would have to find, like, the pro wrestling nuts in order to do, like, I would do it. I'd wrestle with no, like, just, like, find a gimmick for me.
You wrestled, Jack?
I would. That's honestly a bucket list thing of mine, to wrestle in a pro wrestling match.
Oh, that's fun. I mean, why don't you try it?
There's a lot of like small promotions, but like you said, like if you're not in like the right atmosphere, they don't take care of you. So you kind of have to be very careful about, who you're associating yourself with. But I'd love to like be in a ladder match or like steel cage match. Put me through a table. Like I'll take a bump. I'd have a blast doing it.
The things that like now, it's been I'm 29 now, and it's been, I told my age. I never tell my age. I have like the thing that people Google the most is my age. It's so ridiculous.
I think the last interview I watched you in, someone guessed your age.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So I think I knew that beforehand, but go ahead.
But I noticed that wrestling really messed my back up. Because I have a lot of, how old are you, Jack?
How old do you think I am?
Do that to me, Jack, please.
A lot of people think I'm like really old, and I'm really not.
25.
Close. I'm 23.
What? You're a baby.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought you were like at least 27, Jack.
Yep.
You're
out of college.
It's a
Nobody
must.
thinks that.
You look like you drive a van saying free ice cream.
Oh, you said you liked the mustache when we started. Now I'm rethinking everything.
No, you look fine.
Thanks. No, but yeah, some people think I'm legitimately like 45 years old. The way I carry myself, the way I speak.
Very mature, Jack. That's what it is.
I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. Age, I think like wrestling messed my back up. But
oh, yeah.
When you're like a teenager, maybe early 20s, I did a lot of I did CrossFit and all these things, and I didn't realize the harm that I was doing to my back, and now I feel it a lot. So if you did wrestling, just know it's not good for your back. You have to do all these things that put all this pressure on your back. It's not good.
Did you have any exercises that you do, like either stretching or like any type of routines that you had pre and post matches too, to kind of help with like soreness and all that?
I just tried to warm up a little bit so I would be warm when I get to stage, but I miss it. I actually miss it a lot, but I don't know. I would like to do it one more time. I think I would like to do like a match and have an excuse to wear the funny things. I thought that one of the reasons why I wanted to be an actor was so I could always have a different thing to do every day. I think if I had a normal profession, I would try to be like in special forces or something like that. But every time I talk about like Nacya, you're like half meter tall. You can't do that. I love physical exercise and just like, I don't want to be sitting down like in a 9-to-5 job. I like to do different things and have challenges.
No. I mean, I've worked 9-to-5s. I've done my own stuff. I've worked on my own businesses. Like, you get into a routine with a 9-to-5, and then all of a sudden you realize like how asleep you actually are going through the motions of everyday life. Yeah. It's so much more exciting when like you have all the time in the world to do what you want. It's very difficult, but once you get over some of those hurdles and over those humps, financially especially, like you're constantly growing your mind. You're constantly like having those creative juices flowing in order to do the things that you want to do at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. When I was a flight attendant, in the Middle East, and when I first started, I was so excited. I couldn't wait. And I started traveling, and I realized this, no matter how much I slept, it was never enough. So it started catching up to me where I was just like a zombie all the time. And I realized that time was going so fast, I wouldn't remember. If I didn't take pictures, I didn't remember where I was or what I ate. Sometimes I would wake up and then not know where I was. It would take me a few minutes because I was traveling so much. And I talked with this manager once because we always travel with a different manager. And she told me, she said, what did she say exactly? Being a flight attendant, no, I don't remember what she said.
You were laughing to yourself before you said it too.
It's something like, time, as when you're a flight attendant, time is like a dick. It's like a small dick is fucking you and you don't even feel it, because like time goes so fast and you think you have time for things, but you never have time for anything. So that's when I realized like, this is not what I want to do. And I was in Portugal. I went to see my family, and there was this old lady that she like sing. Do you know what fado is?
Nope.
Fado. Fado. Fado is a Portuguese music style that it means destiny, and it's like a sad music, like a cultural music. And she was singing that, and she's like had an amazing voice. You could see like she has like star quality. Not everybody has star quality, but she did. And she has a glass of wine, and she was like, I'm so old and I didn't do anything that I wanted to do. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to do theater. I wanted to sing. I wanted to be a real artist. And I didn't do anything of that. I didn't follow my dreams. And then she like looks into like nowhere. And I'm like, oh, fuck, she's going to be me. So then that's why I thought I have to take comedy more seriously, and I have to try my best. But the thing is that if you aren't born with it, I mean, if you're born in America where you have the possibility to go to theaters immediately and to do all these different things and be in a world where actually people make it without having any, like, you know, just starting from scratch, and they can actually make it, it feels impossible. And then you try so hard and it feels like I tried so hard. I emailed all these different schools. I couldn't afford to go to school, but the only thing I did was I was in a theater group, but it was not good. You know, it's not like in London. It's not like England where it makes really good actors, you know? So it just seemed impossible, but I'm going to make it. It's going to happen.
It's incredible when you think about things like that. Like there's a few buddies I haven't even talked to in a few months, just like general buddies. I'm just like, felt like that was yesterday. Like how has it been like 3 months? And then you look at other things in your life like, oh, I really got to get things going, or I'm going to fall behind and I'm going to regret not capitalizing on those opportunities when I had the chance to, and not only with like comic stuff, but like now you're going to do, feature films and acting and like all of these other projects that you want to do. At what point did you kind of like put your foot on the gas in a sense when it came to the acting stuff and wanting to actually put stuff out there?
Well, I started doing some comedy sketches with my friends, and then I got an agent in Austin. And she was like just a part-time agent, but the first audition I got with her, I got a call back right away. So then she talked about me to her friend who's an agent as well. And then he took me in. And then when I started doing comedy a little bit more forward, I started opening for the comics, and they talked about me to their managers. And now I got a manager too, which is awesome. So
that's big time.
Yeah, I'm looking for an agent in New York now for acting, hopefully.
Would you ever leave Austin? Or are you like settling down there?
I love Austin because it's very calm, but at the same time, I love New York because it's not calm, So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know because I sound bipolar when I give these answers, but I feel like if I was in New York City, my career would be way ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that since even some of the local comedians here in Phoenix, I have a few buddies moving to New York City in the winter. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's great. It's a completely different environment though. Like I moved out here from Jersey to get away from like the, not necessarily the go aspect of the East Coast, but kind of like the toughness in a sense. Because there's a lot of rude people on the East Coast, like sometimes it's like you want that. And other times you're like, why can't you be nicer? And then I move out West and people are way, way, way nicer.
Yeah, I like it. I come from a place where people are very nice, but they're very aggressive. They have a very aggressive way to do things, but I never heard that behavior as being aggressive. I just heard that when I was in America. In Portugal, I see it as being passionate, But I was in New York and I was waiting for the elevator, and then these girls, like the elevator opens, and these girls are like, sorry. And I'm like, I'm already, I hate being late for places. Like I'm always late, but at this day I was almost late, and I go, oh yeah, sorry, it's fine. And I'm like, no, I put my hand like this in the middle of the doors. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I don't have time for this. Excuse me. And then I turned around. There was perfectly space for me there. They were just being bitches for no reason. Right. Oh, they were not from New York. I could tell they're not from New York. But I walk in there and I get my suitcase, and then I press the button, and then there was like tension because they like look at each other like, oh, did she? And I tried to make a joke. I said, guess I'm a New Yorker now. And they didn't even laugh. They were like, I don't get it. Yeah. I like when people are like that, because if there's a problem, you can just communicate and be over with it instead of like trying to figure out what's like walking on eggshells,
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, those were not New Yorkers. They would have slapped back. The fact that they didn't say anything, that's a giant red flag. Those are not East Coast people.
No, but if they said anything, I would answer back too. It's okay. I don't mind.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like if they clapped back, it's like, okay, they're New Yorkers. They wouldn't have just let that slide or keep it to themselves.
I love New Yorkers. I love New Yorkers.
Is there any city that you'd like performing in that you haven't yet?
No, I performed in Dallas, in DC, in LA. I performed in Germany. I think I would like to perform in my country. I haven't performed in my country yet.
Yeah, that would be a full circle moment for sure. I'm shocked you haven't.
Yeah, I know. But you know something? My Portuguese is really bad now. So
maybe it'll be funny.
Sorry?
Maybe it'll be funny. You could just base it off that.
Maybe. All right. Yeah, I think so. I think I would love to do. Have you ever went to Europe?
I have not. I've always wanted to go though.
Did you know everyone's going to Portugal now?
Why is that?
Because so all these Californians are moving to Portugal, and Portugal is like the new hit place to go because food is amazing and fresh, healthy. You can get a really nice house for cheap. Now it's getting more expensive. Like everything is flying away. Like it's hard to get a house now, but people are really nice. You can have a really good quality of life for cheap. And people speak English there. So
Man, I mean, out of all the countries, because I know you mentioned a few, obviously growing up in Portugal, Taiwan, I know you visited, being a flight attendant. Like, how many different places were you in at once when you were a flight attendant? Because, like, you're kind of like, we talked about it before, like, time just, like, being a total mind fuck in a sense of, like, you don't know where you're waking up at, you don't know where you are. It's, like, almost, like, very, like, corrupt for your mental health at times going through stuff like that, too.
it was very, I don't know. I don't remember. I flew to, I think my first month, I did China. I did Toronto. I did Bangkok.
Wow.
And I did one more, which is a big trip as well that I don't remember. Maybe it was Dallas or something. But I know I did 4 really big trips. And I would be always so excited. I would be like, oh my God, where am I going to go today? Like, not today, the month, because you get like your schedule for next month. But I loved it. But I realized a lot of people were not mentally healthy there. And I'm like, how did this person got here? Like, how did they pass all the tests? And it's the job. The job messes you up, honestly. And I like being a flight attendant, but I don't think I ever want to do that again. Yeah. No, I definitely can.
It ain't pro wrestling. There's a window of opportunity. Flight attendant, not so much.
No, pro wrestling maybe if they don't fuck my face up. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe you should do a movie about pro wrestling.
I don't know if I know that much about pro wrestling to make a movie about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Adam does.
Sorry?
Adam does. I could write in it.
Oh, yeah?
You got friends? Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
If you ever have a creative spark that wants to write a pro wrestling movie, hit me up. I got some ideas. Okay, that sounds good. I like that. So we kind of briefly talked about it at the start, and I'll wrap this up. I know you're a busy person. What's kind of the main goal when it comes to putting this film on screen, the one that you're shooting in the fall in Phoenix?
What do you mean, the main goal for it?
Like, what you want it to look like, because you probably have a vision in your head as to what you wanted.
I'm not the producer or the director.
Okay.
I'm just staring in it. I'm one of the leads.
Got it. Well, what do you envision for the role then?
This is an Hispanic role. She's from Mexico. She's like this fiery Latin woman, and she's a fighter. So I like to portray those roles, but at the same time, she's cute. So I like that. But if you ask me, Jack, what is my goal, I can tell you one of them. One of my goals is to be in a really funny, witty, and successful sitcom like The Office or like Modern Family. You know, those type of shows that you watch and they're like feel-good shows.
Those are the shows I feel like I'm with you on that one. Like, that would be really cool because those shows live on forever. Like, you see, like Modern Family is still on TV. Friends is going to live. Like, those guys are just going to like be icons for centuries. Oh yeah,
for sure. I've watched Modern Family so many times, especially because of Sofia Vergara. I love her. I can't believe this woman is 50 years old. I have to take my vitamins. I'm going to remember to take vitamins.
See, guys don't age that well. Who's Ed O'Neill, the actor who plays her husband in that show?
Yeah.
Not aging well. But,
because different guys, you know, they don't take such good care of themselves. So if you're not born with it, it's going to be harder.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Like, I guess like Dwayne Johnson, but he's got all the resources in the world to look great.
You know what these guys do? They take so many vitamins. They do IVs. I've heard about this new IV, which is like $800, which is NAD, N-A-D. And basically it's this vitamin. It's not a vitamin. I don't know. It's this cocktail of vitamins that, you know, as you grow old, your cells don't have the strength to renovate. And basically this cocktail give, how do you say it in English? Give, I'm just having a brain fart. Hold on. These IVs, okay, they give your cells all of that good stuff, so then your cells can renovate and like you remain younger for longer. You look fresh, basically. Whew, sorry,
Well, at least I'll be ahead of the curve at 23 when I really do my research on this stuff. I'll look 23 when I'm 33.
Oh yeah, for sure you will. I hang out with a few comedians this weekend, and they said when I said I was 29, they were like, "What?" And I could see they didn't say that to just be nice, because they were 29. Oh my God, you look so much younger. I'm like, oh yes, because I had my share of cigarettes and whiskey too, so I can't talk much.
That's what you always have to play the guessing game when people ask for your age.
No, but they're not going to be honest. You know, they're not going to be like, oh my God, are you, if they think you're 30, they'll be like, oh my God, you're 25?
Yeah.
They're not going to be like,
what?
Yeah, exactly.
What was the youngest anybody's ever guessed your age to be?
I think 24.
24? Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
But I look younger when I have no makeup on and all that stuff, you know?
You ever this is my last question. Answer this, don't answer this. When it comes to like, you know, what you talked about, like kind of breaking into the comedy scene, you know, being a pretty woman in a sense, right? You got like pretty privilege is what they call it, I think. At least that's what my friends say sometimes. Like what did you ever like think about like just like going like a complete 180, doing shows, like trying to go out of your way to look as poorly as you possibly could?
I've tried to do that, but so first of all, pretty privilege doesn't really work in comedy.
Yeah.
Maybe work in a way that people will try and offer you stage time, but the truth is it might get you to here where you get stage time, but it's not going to keep you there. Because if you're pretty and then you go on stage and you bomb all the time, why would they keep on inviting you? Right? And also you have to understand something, that comedy is a world of outcasts. And they don't want you to, it's hard. I feel like comedy is one of the only jobs in the world where if you look a certain way, if you look attractive, it's way harder because people don't want to like you. They're going to be like, most people are like, who this bitch thinks she is? She's like fucking has what, the 6-pack with her hair and makeup done, and she thinks she's funny. And now my boyfriend is out here looking at this bitch telling jokes. They don't want to laugh. Not many people have the maturity to be open and caring. Like they want to project on you. So it is way harder. I had a very well-known and respected comic telling me, you know, you have to hide your body because it's distracting. And I understand that. But at the same time, if I wear sweats and I don't do my hair and I just go without makeup, I don't feel myself. Because when I do this, I don't do it for people. I do it for me. It's like an armor of confidence. So yeah, it might be harder in certain aspects, but I don't care. It's okay.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a good comic, that's going to bleed through, you know? And it obviously has for you, which is great. Because how long have you been doing it?
I started doing comedy when I was 21.
21, okay, so wow.
But I only really took it seriously when I moved to America, which was 3.5 years ago.
So what, that's around like 25, 26 years old? That sounds about like when you like kind of like clicked in, like, okay, I really got to like put my foot on the gas now and get going.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That like mid-20s, that's kind of when it like all clicks together. Like, okay, like no more horsing around. I got to do this. But you got, you're in Austin now. Do you have any shows this week before you head back east?
No, I'm not doing any shows before traveling because it messes me up.
Oh, really?
Also, yeah, I just took a little break, to be honest, because going to New York City back and forth. I did a movie for the whole month. I was away in North Carolina like 2 months ago. I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting old. I don't know what it is, but I get really depleted mentally. So I sometimes, like, if I'm traveling, I don't do anything the week before besides auditions, and I try to work on my new hour, and that's it.
And that's like the big project, right? The hour special. And when do you think that's gonna kind of come into full manifestation?
I think hopefully in January. That's what I'm counting with. But I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. And then you got your shows this weekend, Stand Up New York City, and then you're gonna be in Hoboken too, I saw.
Yeah.
So check out those shows. Nacya, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank
I'll
you.
let you go. I tend to ramble and just ask curious questions all the time, so I'll let you go.
No, I'm sorry about so bad today. I'm like exhausted, and I was talking with my parents for an hour in Portuguese,
Oh, wow.
and I'm like, where did my English went? It's gone. I don't know where it go.
Hey, sometimes I lose it
It's
too, and
hard.
it's the only language I speak. So
It's okay if I say something's wrong here and there. It's totally on purpose. I did it.
see, that's good.